afternoon, StreamYard and YouTube fans. This is Philip Reynolds. This is my last day being off work due to gallbladder surgery. So I figure I'd come on here and put in a game of history, the highlight maker hoops. So we're playing highlight maker hoops. Today, Arizona is playing the Cincinnati Royals. For Arizona, you have Kerr, Lofton, Tolbert, Elliott, Buechler. You've got the subs are McMillan, Mason, Turner, and Anthony Cook is on a 5-game injury. So he cannot play. After today's game, he will have 4 more games on injury. So make that notation there on my player. And for the home Cincinnati Royals, you've got Hawkins, Twyman, Robertson, Jerry Lucas, and Adrian Smith. Your subs are Embry, Thacker, Arnett, and Hairston. The players that can't play or basically sitting on the bench are Olson and Bachorn today. We are using the mid-high chart. I rolled a 45 for basically using the mid-high chart. So we're using the mid-high chart today. And I've got the cards already dealt out for the first quarter. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get the cards ready basically for the rest of the game. So I don't have to do that. I can just, that's one way to kind of speed things up. I'll turn the cards once for the second quarter. Shuffle it twice. Select the cards for the third. 12. No turning necessary. And for the fourth. All right. Cards. All right. So the cards are ready. These are the cards that won't be used unless you have to add a couple cards to the deck, which does come up from time to time. Sometimes you might have to subtract some cards. So we're going to go down to the court, and we're going to get ready with gameplay. I'm going to have to bring down the shade a second. Just a second. There we go. Sorry about that. I had to okay, so Hawkins and Kerr over on this side is the player of choice. We will start the game. And the first card is a timeout. So discard the next card. That doesn't count. Embry will come into the game for Cincinnati. This comes into the game. We roll a 5 on the coach's card, which is an energize. So Embry will score the first point of the game. Okay. Lofton becomes Arizona's player of choice. And this is a visitor ref look. And that first one is a clank. In the second one, Kenny Lofton will score a free throw in the second one. Tolbert and Hawkins, all your players of choice. And we have a coach's timeout for Arizona. That means McMillan will come into the game. Okay. And we will roll for, that is a 6. And that means that McMillan will score for Arizona. Their game is tied 1-1. Home defensive quick. No, so McMillan will score again. That's 2-1 in favor of Arizona. Robertson and McMillan. 2 shots, ref look. This will be for Robertson because you'll see and he has the circle, the star with an underline, and McMillan is just blank on reference. It's a 7, that is good. And that is an 8, which is also good. So 2, 2, 1. So it's 2-1 on free throws for basically Cincinnati. No, I hit it right the first time. Cincinnati has 2 and Arizona has 1. Because it was a rough look, Lucas comes in and Tolbert comes in. And defensive quick, no, so Lucas will score. It makes it 2-2. Lucas and Elliott here. And you got a star for Elliott, and you got a cross for Lucas. That is equal, all things being equal. That means that Lucas will roll for free throws. He gets a 5, that's good. He gets a 7, that's good. So that makes 4 free throws for Cincinnati. 4-1. And we swap out. So Smith will come and Buechler will come. Home defensive skill. And they have skill but not defense, so Buechler will score. Makes it 3-2. Embry becomes Cincinnati's man of choice here. Grab, and this is the trailing team. And Embry does have grab, so Embry will score. Makes 3-3. And the next car will be Embry and Kerr now. This is push for the visitors. They do not have it. So Lofton and Hawkins are up. Last card, it is a timeout. And it goes to Cincinnati. Thackeray will come into the game. Okay, let's roll on the coach's card. You get a 7. Thackeray will energize. So that makes it 4-3 in favor of Cincinnati. No additional scoring adjustment is made. Four, 3. Here at the end of the first quarter. Let's see what the mid-high chart says. We have to give Cincinnati 4 points, so it makes it 38. And Arizona gets 1, so it makes it 38-31. And Cincinnati, that's the score at the end of the first quarter, 38-31. Now, see, if this was a college game, this portion would be a timeout, and right now the timeout would go to Cincinnati, but it's not a college game, so it's just go to the second quarter play, and since I already have the cards picked out or dealt out, so to speak, I go up here and I take my second deck. I've already arranged them in order, second, third, fourth. I've done what I needed to do. I turn the second quarter around and the fourth quarter around. The third one stays. You just count them out. So we go to the second quarter. All right. And I normally what I do in the second quarter is whichever players they're on, Thackeray and Lofton here. I'm moving down 1, so it'd be Hawkins, McMillan for the second quarter to start things off. And defensive smart, he does have defensive smart because it's a star. So that is a turnover for McMillan. So we did a Tolbert and Twyman. Oh, wait a second. Last thing. 4 makes 9. Makes 9. They both have a possibility of scoring 9 points in this quarter. We're at Twyman and Tolbert here. Time out. 6, 2, that's the case. So, net will come into the game. Thackeray is already in the game. So that will leave us one player left for Cincinnati. And that will give timeout advantage to Arizona. Arnett is our player. Let us roll for coach roll here. We got a 7. That is energized. So Arnett will score. That makes it 5-3 in favor of Cincinnati. Okay. And Elliott comes Arizona's player of choice here. Trailing team, that's a push, and it can be denied. No push, so Buechler and Twyman are up. Ref look for the visitors. The 9, that is Clank. And that is a 7, so Buechler will get a free throw there. It makes 2 for Arizona and 4 for Cincinnati. Okay, which means we got Robertson and we got Kerr. Yes for the home team. Robertson does have yes, so that will be a score for Robertson. That makes it 6-3. Robertson and Lofton. This is a timeout. That means Mason will come into the game for Arizona. Okay. That is a 2. That will be it. Mason will score a basket. The next card is discarded. So that makes it 6-4 in favor of Cincinnati. Wow for the home team, but it can be denied. That will be a skill. Does he have defensive skill? He has offensive, but not defensive skill. So Robertson will score. Makes it 7-4. The Lofton and that means Lightning goes to Cincinnati here. That's something I need to work on better. Big for the visitors. Unfortunately, Lofton does not have big, so it will be McMillan versus Lucas. Offensive quick. He has defensive, but not offensive, so Smith and Tolbert. Ref look, and we've got a plus, basically a cross or plus, and a star, but that, according to the game, is equal, so advantage goes to the home team. That is a 9, and that will be Clank on the first one. And it's a 10, and they will score on the second. And it says on here, discard the next fast action card, which is the last card of the quarter. So that ends the second quarter. sorry, that ends the, yeah, it ends the second quarter, and we have 7, and that means that we move everybody up 1, so Smith will get another score. Smith will score on that one, and that means they will have 8, and Elliott will score for Arizona, and that means that they will have 5. And that will be the end of the second quarter. We are at halftime here. We have Cincinnati with 8, and we have Arizona with 5. We're using the mid-high chart. And Cincinnati, because of free throws, gets 5 additional points. So that will be 71 for Cincinnati. And Arizona will get 2 additional points, so that would be 71 to 56 in favor of Cincinnati. Now, what I do is I go back to the original lineups as much as you possibly can. So Kerr's first, Lofton is second, Tolbert is third, Elliott is fourth, followed by Buechler, and then you bring in the subs. So McMillan comes after Buechler, Mason comes last. With Cincinnati, you have Hawkins, you have Twyman, Robertson, Lucas, Smith, then Embry came in, then Thackeray came in, then Arnett, and then the pawns themselves go back to the first players of the game, which is Hawkins and Kerr, the Cincinnati is capped at 13 points for the third quarter, and Arizona is capped at 11 points for the third quarter as well. So basically, Arizona is going to need to score as many points as they can so that in the fourth quarter they can have a shot to possibly go ahead of Cincinnati here. So we bring in the third quarter cards, and we go back down to the field of play, or the arena, I should say. And we go. Let's see here. Offensive power for the visitors, no. So Lofton and Twyman are up. Defensive power, he has offense but not defensive, so Lofton will score here. That makes it 6-8. Robertson and Lofton, offensive skill, he does, and it's underlined, so Robertson will score twice. It makes it 10-6. to 6. So Robertson and Tolbert here. Home, we have a push. Robertson doesn't have push, so it'll be Lucas and Elliott. Leap. No leap for Lucas. So it will be Smith and Buechler. We've got 2 shots for the trailing team. That will be Buechler, be an 8, and that is a clank. And that is a 6, so Buechler will get 1 additional point. Embry and McMillan here. Defensive smart, that is no. McMillan will score. That makes it 7 to 10. We got McMillan and Thackeray. This will be a ref look tie because they're both blank. That means Thackeray will score. And we roll for the and 1. And that is a 12. That means he will get an extra point. So that means UC has 6 on free throws to Arizona's 3. We've got Arnett and Mason. We've got a timeout. That means Turner will come into the game for Arizona, and that is their last player that they can bring in. And we will roll. And that is a 5. And that means Turner will energize, so Turner will score. That makes it 10 to 8. And Hawkins and Turner. Leap for the trailing team. There is no leap for Turner, so it will be Mason and Twyman up. Ref look, and Twyman wins this one because he's got a blank and Mason has the starburst, and the starburst is the worst. So 6, that is good. That makes it 7. And 7, that's good. It will be so we've got 8 to 3 with regards to free throws. Robertson and Kerr are the players of choice. Last card for the quarter. Defensive quick. He has both. So yes, and it says stolen, but it says underline home scores. Now this is where I have confusion because he does have the quick, and it is underlined. So a yes says it's stolen, but it says underlined home scores. So I'm going to give, because of that, I'm going to give Robertson a basket here. That makes it 12. It makes it 12 to 8. Yeah, it makes it 12 to 8. And that's the end of the third quarter. 12-8 in the third quarter. Okay, we give 8 additional points to Cincinnati because they have 8 on the free throw. So that means that they got 108, and Arizona will get 3. So that's 108 to 87. And we bring in our last deck of cards. That's for the fourth quarter. First up will be Lucas and Lofton for Arizona, and we will go back down to the arena. Okay, as you see, Cincinnati, the most that they can get is 17 points, and 14 would be the most that Arizona could get. So there is a possibility that Arizona could win, but they would have to get like they'd have to get that 13 or 14, and Cincinnati would have to probably basically pull a blank here. So let us roll with the cards and see what happens. Oh, our lovely timeout. Active player must exit floor. The timeout is on Jerry Lucas, believe it or not. We will roll over here. We'll roll behind you here. We'll get a 4, which means that Lucas is not only out this game, but the next 3 games as well. So Lucas will not be able to play for the next 3 games. We move everybody down 1. Lucas comes out of the game. Hairston comes in. So we will roll for, does he energize or not? That's an 8. Nothing will happen. So it'll be Hairston and Tolbert for the next go around. Defensive reach. Yes, it's a blocked shot. Bump. Does Elliott have bump? No. Embry and Buechler. Snag on the trailing team? No for Buechler. Thacker and McMillan. Arc for the home team? Yes, but it can be denied. Arizona will roll a 2. And that is Quick. And he does not have defensive quick, so Thacker will score. That will make it 13-8. Okay. Thacker and Turner. That's 2 shots, and this will go to Thacker. It's 11. That's good. 2. That will be good. So that means Cincinnati gets 10 on free throws. We've got Arnett and Mason. An unusual event. We've got 6, and I know already that means that the trailing team moves up, but because it's doubles, you see the 3-3 there. They move up not just one, but two. So Mason will score twice for Arizona. And that will make it 10-13. Okay. So we've got Mason and Hawkins for Cincinnati. Big, so Hawkins will score. And that makes it 14-10, and it'll be Hawkins and Kerr. Trailing team ref look, that will be Arizona. 3 is good for Kerr, and 5 is good for Kerr, so that puts them up to 5 free throws. Twyman and Lofton are your next players here. Arc, Twyman does not have it, so Robertson and Tolbert are your next players of choice. Offensive reach for the visitors, and they do, so Tolbert will score. It makes it 11-14. Last card of the game. So we've got Tolbert and Hairston. Snag on the trailing team, and Tolbert does not have snag. So we've got, let's see here. As you can see, we have 6 and 3 there, so there's no final score adjustments. So we've basically got 14-11 in favor of Cincinnati. Cincinnati has 14, and Arizona has 11. Right. 14-11 on our mid-high chart. 14-11. Cincinnati gets 10 added points, so they will wind up with 129. And Arizona will get another 5 points. That will be 120. Your final here today is Cincinnati 129, Arizona 112. It was 12-8 in favor of Cincinnati in the third quarter. They kind of shut them down a little bit because they only scored 2 points, but they only got 3. If they would have shut them down completely, it would have been 12-11, and it would have been, in that case, it would have been 116-107. So 9-point difference as opposed to a 17-point difference. But that's the game there. The next game will be Arkansas versus New York. And what I like to do before I end is I roll for the home field advantage for the next game. So, and the way I do this is since 19 is first, Arkansas will roll. They will be the home team, which means New York will be the visitors. And that next game, game 24, will be the end of week 2. And being as that Arkansas is the home team, I won't have to roll for a scoring grid. I automatically use the NCAA scoring grid when a college team is the home team. So we did have one injury in today's game, and that was Jerry Lucas. He will be out the next. He's out this game and the next 3 games. And while I'm thinking of it, we'll take a look at New York and Arkansas. New York does not have any injuries, and Arkansas does not have any injuries as well, so they can both teams can figure out their players on their own. The only stipulation is that Green and Heyman have to be at least put into the Substack because they were on the bench for the last game. And the reason, and you have to go, I'm going by my last, and you'll see that Green and Heyman are broken from the rest, meaning they sat out that particular game. Other than that, I'll see you next time, guys. You have a good day. And do me a favor, go back and watch my last episode because what I did is I began my Blam universe. That was my birthday present to myself was the Blam set. And I created 16 teams and I allocated the all-time greatest players, one for each team, and I allocated the coaches. So that was in my last video. Go back and check that out. That's PSN 183. If you like what you see, please subscribe, turn on notifications, leave comments, that sort of thing. And I do have a question for you. Should I add another ATG player, all-time greatest player? So basically it's 3 regular subs and 2 all-time greatest subs, or just leave it at just 1 all-time greatest player. And if I did add a second all-time greatest player, basically the all-time greatest players would be in the 4 and 5 slot on your bench, basically. So, but that's all I have for you today. Take care. Have a good evening. And we'll see you at the arena, at play.com, and on YouTube. Take care.